Musik og se hvordan de er i gaderne. Fordrevet og spredt, pigerne undertrykte, sønnerne fattige og uden gejl. Far og mor har mistet håbet, kun ved at lære at formidle ved håbet. I samarbejde genfinder livet lyset. Kom så frem musik og grib vores hænder.
This is not just a Kurdish day, it's the day of the whole world. Because if we don't see this kind of tragic days as the day of the whole world, it might catch up on us all. Genocide, massacre, and ethnic cleansing happened all over the world. I come from West Africa, in a country where we have, luckily we are very diverse. We have many ethnic groups. We have 4 languages, and at the same time we are very few, only 3 million people. This country is called Mauritania, but tragically, our politicians were not wise, just like you politicians in Iraq. I don't know if you remember in the Gulf War between Iraq and Iran from 1980 to 1988. Mauritania was one of those countries who supported Iraq. And the second Gulf War, when Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990. Mauritania was one of the very few countries that supported Iraq. As a thank to our military regime, Mauritanians were invited to Iraq, given scholarships, and trained that they were not Africans, that they were Arabs. And to be Arab was not just to be an Arab, but to be actually against Africans. So my family suffered because of that. During that period, from 1980 to 1986, I was living in Qatar, in the Gulf state of Qatar, and I had 2 brothers in Iraq. One of them was doing research at an institute of the Arab League. The other one, also my youngest brother, was studying in Baghdad. Some Mauritanian students reported to the Ba'ath parties, Fidayeen, or the small guys who killed many people, that my family was against Mauritania being turned into an Arab country. So both of my brothers in June 1984 were arrested and kept incommunicado. That means they could not see or meet anyone for 12 days. My youngest brother actually got sick psychologically. Since that time, he got damaged. He could not continue his education. He left Iraq and went to Turkey, and he got lost. Almost he was about, for 2 months, he was like a homeless, living on the street, until we found out and we went and fixed him. Since that time, he has not been able to work, has not been able to function normally, up to today. Of course, this was tragic, but I cannot compare this to what happened to the Kurdish people. Because when I visited Iraq first time in 1982, 2 years after Saddam Hussein took over, after Hassan al-Bakr, we saw a lot of buses full of people, families and children taken from Kirkuk, from northern Iraq to the south. This was a preparation for a massacre and a genocide that happened later on. The name all of you know, the Anfal.